Welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Naruto vanished for 5 years and get massive harem? Before I start, please do support for more awesome content, and subscribe my channel and like this video. Go support and follow the Fire Style Taro for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story. Link in the description. Let's start this video. So I finally made it to Konohagakure, a young girl said with an exhausted smile. She S forward through the giant gates, and headed straight for the center of the village. It would seem the village is about to get loud again. Kotetsu said with a sigh. Kotetsu, I don't think that was who you thought it was. Izumo said as watched the youngster speed off. Well, how many orange jumpsuit wearing blondes do we know? Kotetsu asked with a bored expression. Guess you're right, but Izumo said before giving up on the useless debate. Back with the blonde child, she was standing atop a pole with her eyes closed. She suddenly snapped her amethyst-colored eye open, and smiled brightly. It looks like I beat the old man here, she said with a small laugh. She spotted a park not far from her, and decided she'd do some sightseeing. It didn't take her long to reach the beautiful playground surrounded by tall oak trees. As soon as she stepped into the play area, she was surrounded by 4 children. 2 girls and 2 boys glared at her. Who are you? We've never seen you around here before, said the pink-haired boy with dark green eyes. Heya. My name's Mishina, she said happily. The pink-haired boy's glare turned left his face, and was replaced with a look of indifference. My name is Futachi Uchiha, and that's my little sister Sasukura Uchiha, Futachi told as he pointed to the raven-haired pigtailed girl on Mishina's left. I'm Shikamaru Nara, said the dark blonde pineapple-headed girl behind Mishina. My name is Teiji Hyuga, the long-haired brunette boy on her right said with pride. So judging by your names, I'm guessing you guys are from the main clans of the village, Mishina said as she folded her hands behind her head. That's right. Me and Big Brother are from the elite Uchiha clan. That means you should us more respect than what you've shown, Sasukura said arrogantly. Like hell, Mishina scoffed. Oh, this is about to become way too troublesome, Shikamaru said with sigh while Teiji stood beside her and nodded. Who do you think you are? You're a guest in our village, so you should watch what you say to us, especially since both our parents are high-ranking shinobi as well as council members, Futachi said as his eyes hardened. TCH, like I give a damn. You clan status means absolutely nothing to me, Mishina said before turning to walk away. She only took 3 steps before she ducked under a deadly roundhouse aimed for her head. Mishina stood up and glared at the back of the young Uchiha heir. He turned slightly to reveal his one-tomo Sharingan. She smiled as she gazed into his spinning eyes while he confidently smirked. Mishina's eyes flashed purple for a second, which caused Futachi's smirk to falter. That was all the time Mishina needed to send a devastating elbow into the young Uchiha's face. Big brother! Sasukura screeched as her brother fell backwards, clutching his bloody broken nose. Oh, we're never gonna hear the end of this, Teiji said, making Shikamaru sigh once more. By the time Futachi's blurry vision cleared, Mishina was halfway to her destination. Things were only getting started, and soon Konoha would be turned upside down. Elsewhere, Mishina stood in front of nice-sized 2-story building. She looked up at the name in awe and a bit of drool escaping her mouth. Wow, so this is Ichiraku's, huh? Mishina wondered before smiling widely and entered the restaurant. At one of the many tables and booths, 6 kunoichi were having lunch. I so can't wait till today's shift is over, Ino Yamanaka droned. It's not that bad, Ino, and if you spent more time working than flirting you wouldn't be so bored, Hinata Hyuga lectured before taking a bite of her dango. Try teaching a classroom full of hyperactive brats, said Temari Naro as she massaged her temples, then sighed. Well, maybe it's good we're getting a new generation of hyperactive knuckleheads, Karen said with a faraway look as she ate her gelato. Will I just know my little Futachi will be Rookie of the Year, Sakura Uchiha said with a proud smile. While the 6 kunoichi carried on with their lunchtime chatter, 3 other familiar ninja of Konoha sat at the counter waiting for their meals. That little arrogant prick is so much like Sasuke, it's pathetic, grumbled one Konohamaru Sarutobi while he toyed with his chopsticks. Well, Kono-kun, there isn't much you can do about it, Moegi told as she tried to distract him from their current topic. If boss was still here, maybe thing would be different. Someone would be able to put those Uchiha in their place, Udon said quietly just before IM sat their orders down in front of them. Now come on guys, you can't let the Uchiha clan rain on your parade, Old Man Tucci said with a warm smile. That's right, now eat up you 3 so you can get back to your training. Ayam said in a motherly tone, after finishing up with the Konohamaru core. Ayam moved over to her next customer with her notepad. What can I get you today? Ayam asked while looking down at her pad. I want 10 bowls of miso ramen, and another 10 bowls of the uzumaki bowl. Mishina said with a fox-like grin. When they heard the order, 5 pairs of eyes snapped toward the young girl. What? She questioned as she nervously hid behind the high collar of a familiar orange jumpsuit. Oh, nothing, I'll have your order right up. Ayam said with a pained smile. Thanks, Wani-chan. Mishina said cheerfully. Unknown to the youngster, tears began to form in Ayam's eyes. Hey, are you sure you can handle all that ramen, kid? Konohamaru asked from his stool 2 seats down from her. It'll be easier than when I beat that pink-haired Uchiha earlier. Believe it! Mishina shouted, which made the restaurant quiet down. You don't mean Sakura Uchiha, do you? Udan asked. Nah, his name was Fuichi or something. Mishina said with a shrug. Do you mean Fitachi Uchiha? A new voice corrected. Oh, mommy's a bit pissed off. Moegi said nervously. What's wrong, Sakura? Are you upset someone finally put that little bastard in his place? Konohamaru asked smartly. Hey, well, wait a minute. I didn't put anyone in anyone's place. He attacked me when I turned away, so I broke his nose. Mishina explained, which made Konohamaru burst out laughing. Shut the hell up, Konohamaru. Sakura screamed at the young man. You must be their mother. 'Cause you scream just like the little dark-haired Uchiha clan cheerleader. Mishina said as she rubbed her ringing ears. Her comment only made Konohamaru laugh harder. Do you think we should stop this before Sakura-san kills Konohamaru-kun? Hinata asked before taking a bite of her cinnamon bun. No way, this is getting interesting. Ino said with a mischievous grin. Either way, we all know this won't end well. Tamari sighed. While Sakura shook Konohamaru violently, Mishina had started on her 3rd bowl of miso ramen bowl. Minutes later, a new voice caught their attention. Sakura? What's going on? Asked Umbu Captain Sasuke Uchiha. It seems your son got into a fight today and lost. Sakura said with a scowl. To who? Sasuke asked, slightly shocked. That little girl. Konohamaru snickered while pointing to Mishina, who was on her 5th miso bowl. Sasuke's eyes widened slightly for a second before they narrowed. He walked over to the mini-clone of his old teammate and turned the stool so she was facing him. Who are you? I've memorized every citizen and shinobi in this village, and you are an entirely new face altogether. Even your chakra signature is unfamiliar, so start talking. Sasuke ordered. Well, first of all, that was just rude. Secondly, I don't have to answer you, team. So I'll tell you just like I told your stuck-up children. I don't give a damn about your name or your status. Now go away so I can finish this delicious meal. With that, she swirled around on her stool and resumed devouring her noodles. Her actions left the clan head seething, and Konohamaru was on the floor cracking up. Sasuke refused to be made a fool of and put his hand on Mishina's shoulder, and before he could say anything, time seemed to freeze. Mishina's eyes widened, and seconds later tears began to pour from light pink eyes. Time resumed, and as Sasuke spoke, Mishina jerked out of his grip and sped over the counter. Konohamaru stopped laughing and switched to shinobi mode. Ino and the rest of the girls stood up, and even Sasuke was a little thrown off. Ayam noticed the young girl had a terrified expression as she stared wide-eyed at the Uchiha couple. Sasuke, what did you do? Ino asked, alarmed. Nothing, I just touched her, although I did feel a slight tingle when we touched. Sasuke explained as he stared at his hand, then back at Mishina. Ayam was now holding the shivering little girl and whispered something in her ear to calm her. Told you this was gonna end badly, Tamari said with a shake of her head. Being the medic, Sakura moved to check on Mishina, only for her jump away out of Ayam's arms and land on table a few feet away. Don't touch me! Mishina screamed. What the hell? Karen questioned as she watched the young girl's chakra slowly swell. You're an evil witch. He loved you to death. He would have done anything for you. He'd done everything for you. But you betrayed him all so you can be with that evil prick. Mishina ranted, which confused everyone except Sakura and Sasuke, whose eyes had widened. You even had an aim. Mishina was silenced by Sakura's fist, but to her surprise the youngster went up in smoke. Away, a shadow clone. Sasuke analyzed with narrow eyes. Sakura, what wrong with you? She's just a child. Karen yelled. Sakura, we've been friends for years, be honest with me. Did you ever have an abortion? Ino asked sadly. That's none of your business, Ino. Sakura said quietly. Who was this he she was referring to? Hinata asked. It was then two Machinas appeared behind Sasuke, but the Umbu captain destroyed the clone, then threw the Machina out of the window, and into the building across from Ichiraku's. Don't you think that was a bit extensive? Uchiha-san, Konohamaru said with a glare. No. She is a potential threat to the village. Not only does she have knowledge privy to inhabitants of Konoha, but jutsu as well, Sasuke said as he stared at the with his Sharingan blazing. Is that how you're gonna report it? Konohamaru growled out. Before Sasuke could reply, a surge of chakra caught everyone's attention. Not far from Konoha. Machina? I guess she made it before me after all. Why didn't she use the ing kunai? I better hurry. With that final thought, the worried man took off towards Konohagakure, back at Ichiraku's. What is going on? Konohamaru voiced as Machina stepped out of the light purple chakra flared from her body. Her hair, which was done in a bun, came undone and spiked out a bit. Small claws lengthened from her small fingertips and toes, and small fangs could also be seen poking from her. Sasuke stepped out into the street, then drew his wakizashi, and his Sharingan began to spin. Machina opened her eyelids to reveal purple irises, with black slits for pupils, and black sclera. The chakra bubbled and took the form of a one-tailed fox around her small frame. Sasuke's eyes narrowed some more before he channeled lightning chakra through his blade. Sasuke! That girl is putting out Bija-level chakra! Karen yelled. Machina smirked at the Uchiha clan head and began pushing her chakra output higher. Her chakra surged so high it ripped away her orange jumpsuit jacket. The little girl wore a short-sleeved fishnet undershirt with a white sleeveless GI. What caught everyone's eye were the three whisker-like marks on each cheek. After a second chakra tail formed, she charged at the raven-haired man. The two-tailed child fed behind Sasuke and took a swipe at his back with her claws. He blocked the attack but found that his chest was damn near torn open. He shifted his gaze in front of him to see another Machina smiling at him with his blood on her claws. What? Did she cast a genjutsu on him? Sakura whispered. No, it's a shadow clone. Konohamaru said quietly as they watched Machina crouch down on all fours ready to pounce. That can't be possible. Whenever Naruto used his tailed forms, he was unable to create shadow clones. Sakura replied with a scowl. That was because of the fox's chakra potency, but whoever said that girl possessed a bijou? Karen countered. They were brought back to the battle when Machina charged again. However, this time things were not the same. Machina Namikaze! Stop where you are! Echoed a voice. The little girl froze instantly, as did everyone else who heard her name. Her transformation instantly vanished. She then turned to look into the Sasuke threw her into. Sasuke did the same, and he met a pair of glowing crimson eyes with black slits. In an act of dominance, Sasuke activated his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. The other pair of eyes changed as well. Black sclera and black cross-slit pupil with crimson iris now stared back at Sasuke. Suddenly Sasuke didn't feel like top dog. The steely, unwavering demonic gaze sent shivers down his spine. A cold sweat covered his forehead, while his body started shaking uncontrollably. To everyone's surprise, Sasuke's Sharingan faded, and his eyes were back to their normal onyx color. Machina, what have I told you about revealing your Kekkai Genkai? The voice asked as the rest of the shinobi filed out the upgraded ramen bar, followed by the ramen-making owners. You said never to use it unless it was completely necessary. Machina responded while she looked at the ground. And was it necessary? The voice asked. Maybe, came Machina's timid voice. Speak up! Yelled the voice, which made everyone who heard jump. I saw his memories when he grabbed my shoulder. I saw all the pain he caused you, Daddy. Then when she attacked me, I switched with a shadow clone. Machina explained loudly to her father. Unfortunately, the moment she mentioned she was attacked, the air became a bit warmer. Who attacked you? The voice growled. The lady named Sakura. Uchiha Machina mumbled, but this time Dad heard her. Those demonic orbs shifted to Sakura and unbridled fear entered the pink-haired medic. How long's it been, Sakura? 5? Going on 6 years, no? The voice asked. As the wind blew and Sakura blinked, she found herself staring into hardened cerulean blue eyes. And then Naruto? Sakura stuttered. Instantly those ocean-colored eyes changed to burning crimson, and Sakura's own emerald green eyes widened. Everyone too shocked to move, including the esteemed Umbu captain. His claws flexed, his revealed his fangs, and his wild spiky blonde hair danced in the spring wind. A small growl escaped the Jinchuriki's throat. He raised his left clawed hand over Sakura's heart. Daddy, stop! Machina shouted as she threw her small arms around her father's waist. Ino and Karen were the first to snap back to reality. The very instantly in front on their friend. Karen was trying to lower Naruto's arm but to no avail. Ino was trying to draw his attention to her and off of Sakura. Being in the interrogation department, Ino could see the pain in Naruto's frenzied eyes. She then remembered something and began slowly stroking his thickened whisker marks. He leaned into her touch for a second before he returned to his senses. Ino-chan, Karen-chan, it's nice to see you guys again, Naruto said with a small smile. Boss! Yelled the Konohamaru Corps before wrapping Naruto with a group hug. Hey, you guys have grown, Naruto said, laughing a bit. It's nice to see guys to old man I am Ichin, Naruto greeted before they too joined in the group hug. Well, the Konohamaru Corps aren't the only ones who's grown, Temari said with a raised brow. Naruto looked to be around 6 feet 2 inches now. His lean chiseled body was dressed with a long sleeve mesh undershirt, a sleeveless white GI, dark red bracers covered his forearms, black leather pants with a white fox curled around the left leg, black shin-length boots covered his feet, a diamond stud in his left ear as well and a silver chain around his neck, and finally a red leather overcoat with a white nine-tailed fox embroidered on the back. Careful, Temari, we don't want Shikamaru getting angry, Naruto said with a smile while pointing to the top of a building behind him. Temari looked to see Sixumbu and a dog. Temari laughed nervously and waved timidly. Hey, wait, how did you know Shika and I got married? Temari asked, shocked. I didn't, but now I do, Naruto told her with a smile. Naruto and Hinata's gaze met, and she only looked away, trying to keep her tears from showing. Machina, who read through Sakura's memories when she touched her shadow clone, already knew about the tension between them. Then she looked at Sakura with a look that could kill. Naruto looked away as well, with sadness clouding his eyes. Well guys, it's been great catching up with you all, but I have to go see Hokage-bachan, Naruto told them, then turned to leave after picking his daughter up. He stopped, then turned slightly to look at his two teammates. Oh, and Sakura, Sasuke, if either of you ever, and I mean ever, lay even a fingernail on daughter again, I'll kill you, he finished in a demonic edge tone with one demon eye glared at the two. He then walked away. Each step he became more transparent until they were completely gone. Wait! Did he say Hokage-bachan? Karen asked with wide eyes. Oh? Ino said nervously. In a swirl of leaves, the Sixumbu plus one dog appeared in front of them. And why exactly did you idiots take so long to appear? Sasuke growled at his team. First off, whether you believe us or not, we saved you and your wife's sorry asses, said the dog Mastumbu. If you were less concerned with who bested your son in battle, you felt Naruto when he arrived, the beetle Mastumbu commented. Naruto got here the second his daughter crashed into the building, said the earthly Umbu. Everyone's eyes were now open a bit as realization set in. It was Machina exuding Bija-level chakra. It was her father. He softened her impact with a wall of air. Came the dear Mastumbu, who looking directly at Temari. The girl was so enraged she herself didn't even seem to notice, said the Sparrow Mastumbu member. Who cares about all that? What was Ino-chan and Karen-chan bullshit? Sakura yelled while trying her best to stare through the two young women. That's none of your business, Uchiha-san, Ino said coldly before she and Karen walked off. Things are about to get loud around here again, Udon said with a smile. Hey, we've had 5 years and a half of quiet time, so no complaining, Konohamaru said with a toothy grin. Hokage's tower. Naruto appeared of the office he would dream of sitting in himself one day. Well, looky what we have here, the Hokage said cheerfully. You're the last one I'd expected to see behind that desk, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said with a grin, and I never thought I'd ever see my beloved student ever again. But there's a reason why you're the number one unpredictable ninja, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Very funny, sensei. What made a Tsunade-bachan give up the throne? Naruto asked as he reclined backwards in midair. Machina had fallen asleep and cuddled closer into her father's coat. It would seem someone has come far with their mastery of the wind element, Kakashi said happily. The doors to the office and small boy came sprinting in. Hokage Tauzen, cheered the young boy. Rinto. Where's mommy? Kakashi asked. Moments later his question was answered. Rinto, honey, how many times have I told you not to barge into daddy's office? Asked a familiar voice. It's not like we're talking about anything important, Shizen-ichin, Naruto chirped with a smile. Shizen looked at Naruto with wide eyes, then to Kakashi, who in turn shook his head no. Shizen hugged her surrogate younger brother tightly, then whispered, stay calm. The brunette went to retrieve her son, who had managed to avoid her, and jump into Naruto's lap. "Hi," Rinto said in a childlike manner. The boy was a spitting image of Kakashi, except you could see his face and both eyes. Even his short silver hair defied gravity like his father's. "Hey there, kiddo. So your name's Rinto, is it?" Naruto asked. And you Nato Niken," Rinto stated excitedly, then looked at the sleeping Machina. "This is my daughter Machina Namikaze, she's 5.5 years old," Naruto told the toddler, which shocked Shizen a bit. "She looks like Piggy Nichin," Rinto said happily before moving a strand of hair from her face. Naruto inwardly laughed in what was meant to be Ino's name. "How old are you, Rinto?" Naruto asked. "2 on Nato Niken, you strong, right?" Rinto asked. "That depends on many things, but your dad is way stronger than me," Naruto said reassuringly. "No, you're much stronger than Daddy Hokage." "I feel it," Rinto said seriously, gaining strange look from the blonde young man. "Please save Tsunade-bachan," Rinto said with teary eyes. "What?" Naruto's gaze up towards the two adults. Shizen scooped up her son and ran out of the office holding her sobs back. Kakashi kept his gaze down on his desk to avoid his student's furious eyes. "Where the hell is she, Kakashi?" Naruto questioned, making the Rokudame Hokage flinch. "Size 2 years after you up and left without a word. Lady Tsunade went out to look for you. She said she would not lose another one to this twisted world. She'd check in every week for 6 months, then the reports just stopped. She's been gone for a little over 3 years. Most have given up, but the ones who haven't think she may be held somewhere," Kakashi finished. Not once did he look at his student, but he could feel the fury rolling off him. The room had gotten noticeably warmer. The Sharingan warrior even began to sweat a bit. "Kakashi-sensei, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be in my parents' estate," Naruto said. His one-eyed sensei didn't say anything. They knew 5 years ago that when everything Naruto's parents left him disappeared, that it was with him, including the manor, Namikaze estate. Upon reaching the gates to his and Machina's home, Naruto found 2 familiar faces waiting for him. "Ino-chan, Karen-chan? What are you two doing here?" Naruto asked, bewildered at the presence of the two. "We was wondering if you'd show us what you've done with the place in the last 5 years. Ino chirped happily. Naruto only nodded, then undid the blood seal on the gates. The blonde and redhead followed him into the manor, where they waited in the living room. He returned from putting Machina in her bed, then sat down between them with a heavy sigh. "How can she sleep like a brick at 4 in the afternoon?" Karen asked as laid on his right shoulder. "She most likely ran all the way here non-stop from our previous location," Naruto said blankly. A awkward silence covered them for almost an hour before Naruto spoke again. "Tsunade-bachan," Naruto choked as tears finally escaped his eyes. "It's all my fault because I was running from Sakura and Sasuke." Naruto strained out, trying not to yell and wake Machina. "No! It's not your fault. It's theirs for pushing you to it. It was Sakura who had been sleeping with Sasuke behind your back. You were the perfect fiancé. Everyone woman was jealous of her, including us," Ino admitted timidly. "Naruto, did you know she had?" And Karen couldn't even finish her question. It made her sick just thinking about it. "That she had an abortion?" "Yeah, I knew at the time. I was in denial. I didn't want to believe it. I even went so far as to think I imagined it," Naruto admitted in a broken voice. "What? You knew?" Ino asked, shocked beyond belief. "Do you honestly think with Sage Mode under my belt I wouldn't sense another new life growing? My own fiancé?" Naruto asked as he stared blankly forward out the window at the Hokage monument. "You still stayed with her, even thought you knew?" "Why?" Karen asked sadly. "It was her body. I didn't think that I could tell her to carry my child for 9 months. But now I realized I could have saved him or her. I was so blinded by my love for her that I failed my first child," Naruto said before more tears poured from his dead blue eyes. She took him from me." Naruto sobbed into Ino's shoulder. For the first time in half a decade, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze came to terms with the death of his unborn son. He cried for 2 hours, finally releasing 5 years' worth of anguish. "You knew it would be a boy thanks to Sage Mode?" Karen asked as she held him while Ino was off getting them drinks. "It's not all your fault, Naruto-kun. Half of the blame falls onto Sakura as well," Karen whispered, only for him to nod. Ino then returned with 2 bottles of aged wine and 3 glasses. The 3 friends drank themselves to sleep as the sun set on Konohagakure. Machina had woken at some point and came downstairs to find the 3 passed out on the dark red shag rug. She grabbed a large quilt and draped it over them, then climbed in and settled atop her father's chest. Moments later her eyes snapped open after Karen and Ino both put their arm over her as well as Naruto. Machina saw both of their memories and smiled. Don't worry, Daddy, I plan on avenging my brother, Machina thought before joining the drunken adults in Slumberland. A year had passed since the United Shinobi Alliance defeated Madara and the rest of the Akatsuki. Peace had been restored to the 5 great nations, and Naruto had managed to save his best friend/brother. Unfortunately, the village wasn't taking no chance with the last Uchiha. He had been sentenced to a year in an underground cell, with his chakra sealed completely and absolutely no visitors. His release date was set for tomorrow, but tonight the rest of the 13 Leaves of Konoha were now celebrating Sakura's 19th birthday. A party was being thrown for her at the top of the Hokage's tower courtesy of Tsunade. It was now time for Sakura to open her presents. She started with the flat white box from Ino. Sakura opened her best friend's gift to reveal a white coat like Lady Tsunade's except with a cherry blossom on the back. Oh my god, Ino! Thank you so much! Sakura squealed before hugging her friend. She then proceeded to open the rest of her presents. The old teammate gave her a beautiful crystal cherry blossom tree, Shikamaru and Temari presented her with a huge book of rare medicines and a rare desert rose. Choji gave her a gorgeous diamond-studded cherry hair. Niji and Tenten got her a custom-made battle hammer with a pink ribbon tied around the hilt. Lee and Guy gave her a set of pink training weights. Kakashi gave her a copy of the new Ika Ika Black Hell Edition which earned him whack to the noggin. Kurenai gave her 3 free spa coupons. Tsunade allowed her to sign the slug contract. And Shizen got her a cherry blossom petal pendant on a 16 KT gold chain. Naruto, I haven't come across your gift yet. Did you even get me anything? Sakura playfully scowled at him. Of course I did, Sakura-hime. But it's hard to find a present for my girlfriend of 2 years, he said cheekily. But I'll do my best to present it correctly, he said vaguely before pulling her up to the stage so everyone could see them. The second they were up in front of the party, everyone's eyes instantly locked onto them. Okay, everyone, it's time for Sakura-hime to receive her last gift of the night. Well, maybe not the last. He chuckled after she lightly smacked his arm and Kakashi whooped. Okay, so I searched for an entire week for a gift to get my beautiful princess, but I couldn't find a damn thing. He chuckled nervously when he saw Sakura's frown. But I changed my preferences. Instead of searching for a gift for the woman who's been my girlfriend for 2 years, I started searching for a gift for the girl I've been in love with since, well, forever, he said, making everyone smile, and suddenly he turned to Sakura and dropped to one knee. His actions caught everyone off guard and their smiles brightened. Finally a gift worthy enough, Naruto said as he pulled out a small black box. He opened to reveal a pink princess-cut diamond engagement ring. The diamond had an emerald leaf on each side with vine-like engravings on the band. Sakura Haruna, will you do me the honor of marrying me? Naruto asked hopefully. Sakura looked out to gathered guests to see many heads nodding and smiling. When she came to her parents, she saw warm gazes, smiles, acceptance from her father, and tears from her mother. Yes, she squealed, and Naruto eagerly placed the ring on her finger before he picked her up and twirled her around. The crowd erupted in applause and whistles. Hinata had tears falling from her eyes, but they weren't happy tears at all. She quietly sped away from the rest of the celebration back to her home at the Hubicom. Naruto, my boy, welcome to the family, Sekio Haruno said as he hugged Naruto. I know you'll treat my baby like the princess she is, Riha Haruno said as she tightly hugged her new son-in-law. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Haruno, Naruto said brightly. The rest of the party was filled with a warm atmosphere and joyous laughter. Later that night, back at Naruto's apartment, the newly engaged couple were having a celebration of their own. Well, where'd that come from? Naruto asked before ing his. It was a present from Anko-san. You like? Sakura asked, then twirled so Naruto could see all of her wine nurse outfit. Yeah, I love it, he said, and captured her in a heated. For the rest of the night the two of them ate each other's brains out. They didn't stop until just before sunrise, when they'd finally gotten enough and passed out, both totally forgetting they were supposed to meet with Tsunade and Kakashi to go and pick up Sasuke. Later that day around noon, Sakura woke up to the sun beaming in her face. She groaned and stretched out the kinks in her body before putting on Naruto's dress shirt from last. She walked into the kitchen with a yawn and put on a pot of coffee. With that done, she leaned up against the counter and gazed lovingly at her ring. So that's why I had to stay in the damn cell for an extra 4 hours, said a familiar voice. I told you if we waited here we'd find out why they were late. Looks like you owe me 100 Rios, Sasuke-kun. Kakashi chirped as he read his Ika black. Aiii. Sakura screamed at the two intruders, which alerted Naruto, who s into the living room with two Hiraishin kunai naked. HHH Naruto, you ing dumbass, what the hell are you doing? Sasuke yelled as he quickly covered his eyes. Screw that. What the are you two doing in my goddamn apartment? A red-faced Naruto yelled while pointing accusingly at his sensei and teammate. A month and a half later, yesterday while Naruto was meditating in sage mode, he noticed something different with Sakura's body. It was as if she now had two different chakra signatures. The second was much smaller, and held a light blue tint to it with specks of red. A small smile wormed its way to his when he saw that it was centered in her abdomen. He could almost feel it reaching out to him. Suddenly he was brought out of his musings when his fiancée snapped her fingers in front of his face. Oh, I'm sorry, Harem. What did you say? Naruto asked while rubbing the back of his head sheepishly. I'll be working late tonight, Sakura said as she scrambled to get her things for work. But what about our dinner plans? Naruto whined. Sorry, but my duty as a medic comes first. Besides, we can go to dinner tomorrow night, or something, Sakura said with a strange smile. Fine. But I'm choosing where, Naruto stated triumphantly. Okay. I gotta go, bye, Sakura said before hurrying out the door. What, no goodbye? Naruto asked to no one in particular. Naruto jumped in the shower and then headed for one of the secluded training grounds to work on his new secret jutsu. Later that night, Naruto decided if he and Sakura couldn't go out, then he'd bring her dinner. As soon as he walked in Konoha Hospital, he found Sasuke's old Taka teammate Karen at the front desk. Hey Karen, do you know where Sakura is? Naruto asked brightly. She left a little while ago with Sasuke, Karen told him. Damn. Oh well, I'll just wait for her at home, Naruto said sadly. You know, Naruto, I'm about to go on break. If you want, we could have dinner. No sense in letting it go to waste, Karen suggested shyly. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'll wait for you in the cafeteria, Naruto told her with a grin. When he left, she released a heavy sigh. She had noticed Sakura had been a little jumpy today, and Sasuke had been around the hospital a lot these past few weeks. The red-eyed maiden was so enthralled in her thoughts that she hadn't noticed Ino already sitting with Naruto. Hey Karen, I hope you don't mind if Ino joins us for dinner, Naruto asked with a smile. Hell, why not? The more the merrier, Karen said with a slight grin. So I'm guessing Forehead is MIA again? Ino asked after noticing the look Karen gave her. You know she hates when you call her that, Naruto mentioned before taking a bite of his fish. Yeah, well, too bad, Ino said with a haughty laugh. The three of them enjoyed their dinner and afterwards went their separate ways. Although the girls had the same thoughts running through their head. Sakura, you better not do anything stupid. Naruto returned home to an empty apartment, so he decided to shower then go to bed. As he laid in his king-size bed, he kept tossing and turning trying to get comfortable. Something had been eating at the back of his mind ever since he entered the hospital. Finally he was able to go to sleep, but a voice haunted his dreams, yet he couldn't match it with a face. The next morning Naruto woke up to Sakura laying beside him. He smiled, then moved her hair behind her ear. Next he sat up in the lotus position that began drawing in nature chakra. Once in sage mode he felt for his little secret, but its chakra signature was gone. He concentrated and concentrated, but there wasn't a trace of that second chakra signal Sakura at all. Did I just imagine it the other day? Naruto thought before getting up to start the day. 3 months later, Naruto was cleaning out the manor his parents left him with the help of Ino and Karen. The three of them had become pretty close over the past few months. Naruto had stopped trying to spend time with Sakura on her breaks 2 months ago. It seemed whenever he'd come to the hospital to see her, she was too busy or she was off with Sasuke. Ino and Karen had tried to tell him that it was wrong for those two to be together alone so much. Naruto justified it by saying they'd been apart so long that they needed time to catch up. Now whenever he came to the hospital it was to hang with his two best friends on their breaks. But even Naruto could feel Sakura spinning further away from him, yet he didn't know why. So you and Sakura are gonna move in after the wedding? Karen asked after setting a box down. Yep. I feel it'd be better that way, Naruto said with a grin. When's the date? Ino asked, already knowing the answer. I don't know. Sakura keeps pushing the date back, Naruto told her nonchalantly. Ino only sighed and thought, what could her pink-haired friend be thinking? The three of them heard the front door open and someone called out for Naruto. Hey Naruto my boy, we're here to help, yelled Sekio Haruno. Up here Pops. Naruto yelled back from the master bedroom. Minutes later Sakura's parents entered the room with smiles. Where's Sakura? Wasn't she supposed to be coming with you guys? Ino asked with a frown. She ran off talking about training with Kakashi-san and that boy Sasuke. Riha said disappointedly. After hearing how Sasuke tried to kill her little girl, the older pink-haired woman wanted him far away from Sakura as possible. Bullshit. How can they have team training when the last member of the team is right here? Karen shouted, making Sakura's parents look at the floor in shame. They weren't stupid, they could see the path their daughter was taking. It didn't please them one bit, and soon it would bring shame to the Haruno name. Hey Pops, can you and Ma sort through that closet there? Naruto asked as he kept working. Naruto, Karen said quietly. What? I told you I'm not worried, Naruto said with that childlike grin of his. It was then someone new fared into the room. Hey Kakashi-sensei. You guys here to help too? Naruto asked brightly as he turned to stack another empty box. Actually Naruto, I came to get you and Sakura, then we're gonna go get Sasuke. I'm gonna take my beloved students out for dinner, and I'll be paying, Kakashi said with chuckle while he read his Aika White Heaven edition. Even though he was into his book, Kakashi could feel the change in the air. Everyone had froze. Kakashi-san, aren't Sakura and Uchiha-san already with you from team training? Sekio asked hesitantly. I don't recall scheduling any exercises for today, Kakashi told them, then took a look around the room at the pained faces who were looking toward Naruto. Said blonde had his back to them as he was mid-step into the master bathroom. Kakashi was called a genius for a reason, and with a heavy sigh he closed his new Aika book. Come on, what are you people standing around for? Let's get to work, Kakashi happily ordered. Later that night, after half the house was fixed up, the 6 tired workers sat around the unfinished living room chatting. Wow, you guys got a lot of work done today, said a shocked Sakura when she entered the living room. She went over and placed a Naruto's cheek and collapsed onto Naruto's lap. Sakura didn't notice everyone staring at her like she had lost her mind. Naruto massaged her scalp as she snuggled into his warmth. How was team training, Sakura? Kakashi asked emotionlessly, making Sakura jump. How she'd missed her sensei there she didn't know, but she didn't have one of the brightest minds of her generation for nothing. Well sensei, since you never showed as usual, me and Sasuke-kun went to train by ourselves, Sakura said while doing a victory dance in her head. I bet you did, Ino said under her breath. Sakura honey, did you lose your engagement ring during training? Riha asked, causing Sakura's eyes to widen and everyone else's to go to her ring finger. Oh no, I took it off so it wouldn't get messed up during training, Sakura said frantically before summoning the ring from a ceiling tattoo on her wrist. I must have forgotten to put it back on afterwards, she told her mother. Everyone looked at Naruto to see him gazing lovingly at his fiancée while he massaged her head. It was like he was oblivious to what was happening, but maybe that was a good thing. 9 months later, Naruto was returning from his 3rd S-rank assassination mission this week. He finished early, so he thought he'd return early and take his soon-to-be wife out. Even though the moon was high in the sky, he knew she'd be at the hospital. She'd been so happy the past few months, she even had decided on a date for the wedding, which was only a couple weeks away. They were gonna visit Hikaru in the land of the moon for their honeymoon. A few weeks ago he happily discovered that second chakra signature was back here again. Only this time it felt a bit different. It was still familiar, but yet it didn't feel like last time. Also, it didn't feel to be reaching out for him like last time, but he was ecstatic nonetheless. Since he was still in sage mode, he could sense his beloved princess atop the Hokage mountain. What really caught his attention was that she wasn't alone. He flashed to the top the rocks using the Hiraishin to find Sakura wrapped in Sasuke's arms. At first he didn't know what to think, but it became clear as he heard her speak. Sasuke-kun, what would you say if I told you I was pregnant? Sakura asked nervously. I thought I already told you I'd take care of you, and my future son or daughter, Sasuke told her. No, not this child, I mean before now, Sakura clarified. What do you mean? Sasuke asked, a bit confused. I was pregnant once before with Naruto's child, but I didn't want to have his child, so I aborted the baby, Sakura said emotionlessly. Sasuke was quiet for a bit, then he finally spoke up. It's your choice whether or not you want to have a child, Sakura, don't feel bad about it, Sasuke told her. I don't. In fact, the day it happened I went home to his place and slept like nothing had happened, Sakura told him in a dead voice, which kinda unnerved Sasuke a bit. Sooner or later Naruto will find out about us, Sasuke said quietly. Let him, maybe then he'll finally give me up. Sakura said with finality. Naruto was like a broken window. His heart had been crushed, his mind blown, and his soul shattered. He moved like the undead through the streets of Konoha till he reached the Hokage Tower. He turned in his mission report to Tsunade and walked out. He hadn't heard a single word the Godame Hokage said to him. He walked around for what felt like days but only turned out to be an hour or two. Eventually he ended up at his parents' home, and found Karen and Ino waiting for him at the front gate. Looks like you were right, Karen, Ino said before handing her a stack of Rio. That right, never doubt me. Karen cheered. How was your mission, Naruto-kun? Karen asked the blonde sage. Naruto ignored her and kept going into the manor. One thought ran through their minds as they looked at their friend drag himself up the front steps, then at one another. They followed after Naruto and found him laying shirtless on his bed. They could see the blank look in his eyes as he stared up at the ceiling. The girls already knew what could possibly cause this kind of reaction to the seemingly invincible Toad Sage. Instead of asking the stupid questions like "Are you okay?" or "What's wrong?" they opted to just lay on each side of him. Karen at his right placed her left hand on his right pectoral, and Ino at his left placed her right hand above his beating heart. After a while of laying there in uncomfortable silence, a bit of life returned to his blue orbs. Everyone could see it, couldn't they? I was the only one blind to what happening, wasn't I? Naruto asked in a hoarse voice. Yeah. Karen responded softly and caressed his chest. I guess I really am destined for a life alone without love. The broken sage voiced. You aren't alone, Naruto-kun, Ino told him. That's right, you have us, Karen said as she rested her hand on his sculpted abs. Yeah, I have my two best friends, but I meant the love of a wife, and the love of a family of my own, Naruto told them as a tear fell from his eye. Ino and Karen looked into each other's eyes, vibrant red med breathtaking light blue, and they made their decision. Ino reached up and lightly stroked his whisker lines, earning a purr from last Namikaze, and he leaned into her touch. Like I said, you have us, Karen told him before placing a soft on his, followed by Ino doing the same. Sleep, Naruto-kun will come check on you tomorrow, Ino whispered to him. The girls gave him one last each before they went home for the night. The next morning Naruto was gone, and not a trace of him was left in Konohagakure. Present time. Ino was first to wake up, followed by Karen. They both smiled when they saw Machina had joined them. Careful as possible, they untangled themselves from the small child and made their way to the beautiful kitchen. Oh my god, she is so cute, Ino squealed in a hushed tone. I guess we'll see you two later then, Ino teased. He wants all of us, me, you, Karen, and Machina, Naruto countered just as Machina re-entered the kitchen. What the hell did I do? I'm not even officially part of the village yet, Machina raged. I haven't even gotten a chance to shower. Ino pouted. I want breakfast, Karen complained. Will you guys quit bitching? Ino, Karen, you know where the bathrooms are. You guys can wear some of Machina's mom's old clothes. They're in the back of my closet in the master bedroom. Machina and I'll have breakfast ready by the time you're done. Now get going, Naruto ordered. He looked at his daughter, who was currently scowling at him with her arms crossed. Don't look at me like that, come on, let's get breakfast underway. Naruto then went on to gather the dishes. 45 minutes later, Naruto and company entered Kakashi's office to see Sasuke and his family waiting, as well as Shizen and Rinto. Naito Naiken! Piggy-chan! Rinto cheered as he ran into Ino's arms. Who's the screaming bottle rocket? Machina asked nonchalantly. Hey, I remember you, I forget your name though, Rinto said while he rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Sorry brat, never seen you before in my life, Machina said, then glanced over to the Uchiha members. That's 'cause you sleep last we met, Rinto told her as Ino put him down on the floor. Rinto stood in front of Machina with a serious face, almost like he was analyzing her. You also strong, almost as strong as Naito Naiken, Rinto said with a grin, astonishing everyone except Naruto, and Machina's eyes widened. I don't know what you're talking about, kid, Machina said before looking away. Naruto, just what have you been up to since you've been gone? Was the thought everyone had on their mind. Anyway, I've gathered you all here for many reasons. First are my list. Naruto, I've taken the liberty of enrolling Machina in the academy, which starts in 2 weeks, Kakashi said, which earned him a nod from his student. Second, since you held the title of Toad Sage at the time you decided to up and vanish, there is no need for me to reinstate, as you have free reign to come and go as you please. Also, you may also retain your seat on the council. Kakashi voiced, earning him another nod. The Cyclops sighed before moving on to the next subject. Yesterday in the park, apparently young Futachi Uchiha was assaulted by little Mishina. Is this true? Kakashi asked, looking directly at Mishina, but could see Futachi's snake-like grin. Yep, and I do again, so this time he can get his stuck-up head right in front of Mommy and Daddy. Mishina said with a deadly smirk. I'd like to see you try, little shrimp. Futachi yelled. Don't think just because your parents are here that you're untouchable, 'cause I kicked their asses yesterday too. Mishina's back, which brought a red tint to Sasuke's face. Futachi's mouth hung open as he looked at his parents, then to Mishina and back again. At least they're acting like adults. Shizen whispered to her husband. On the contrary, Sasuke and Sakura were seething on the, and Naruto was, la 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 la, was what went on through Naruto's head. Okay, settle down, children. I'll chalk it up to a playground argument this time, and Futachi no more attacking people. You understand? Kakashi asked, then moved on the next subject. The Ichirakus want payment for the damages done to their business. Kakashi told them, since it was my daughter who started the brawl, I'll take responsibility. Naruto said seriously. Mishina gawked at her father but was blocked from saying anything thanks to Ino. Actually, Naruto-kun, they started it. Ino admitted as she gestured at Sasuke and Sakura. Really? Naruto asked. Yeah, really. I can't believe you just automatically think I started that. Mishina scoffed. Well, you're brash like me and you tend to swing first then ask questions later. Naruto said with a small laugh. Bite me, old man. Mishina said and went to sit in between Ino and Karen. Anyway, Sasuke, I trust you have no problem taking care of the damages? Kakashi asked. Sure, no problem at all. Sasuke said through gritted teeth. Finally, you've all been summoned by the leader of the land of demons. Head Priestess Cheyenne would like an audience with you all immediately. You leave at noon today, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Both Naruto and Mishina looked at each other with questioning stares, while a few others had different thoughts. Cheyenne? Isn't that the priest we were in charge of protecting all those years ago? What could she want with all of us? There is no way I'm letting that dope get away with this. I'm still the strongest. Somehow I sense that this won't be a fun trip. I feel a storm on the horizon and Naruto-kun will be at the focal point. Everyone left in order to pack for their week-long trip, and it was about to be a very long week. There you have it, folks, chapter 2, and I'm having a lot of fun writing this story. I haven't decided on how long it should be yet. Now I got a review saying that the children's name weren't original. I don't know how others do it, but there's a reason behind why I did it. Shikamaru Nara, she earned her name because due to her father's lazy nature, he didn't feel like taking the time to think of something that stands out. Temari wanted them to think of a name together, but by the time she finally convinced Shikamaru, their daughter was already on her way. So due to fatigue from giving birth, Temari just said it, and accepted the name Shikamaru lazily created from their two names. Teiji Hyuga, his father, decided to leave the baby name searching to his mother. Tenten always wanted her child to be in some way named after the father. But she didn't want the name to be as direct as Junior. That's when she came up with Teiji. Futachi Uchiha earned his name from his fangirl of a mother who felt that his name should honor his dead family in some way. She then decided to combine the names of his uncle and grandfather together, since Fugaku's actions toward him as a child drove Sasuke to push his limits so that he may stand on the same pedestal as his brother, and Itachi drove him to push his limits even farther. Sakura felt it was only right. Sasakura Uchiha, well, this one was also Sakura's fangirl's side taking over. She saw her daughter as a symbol of she and Sasuke's love for each other. Therein lies the combination of their names. Her name will also play a part in her character development like her brother's. Mishina Namikaze, the reason behind her name combination is a secret, so I won't spoil the story for you. But one of the reasons behind it was to honor Kushina and Minato. Alright, who's gonna be squad leader? Ino asked the large group as they stood in front the village gates. My dad will lead since he does hold the highest rank as Umbu captain. Futachi said smugly. No, he doesn't. Mishina deadpanned. She's right, Tachi-kun. Naruto holds the rank of sage, which is right under the Hokage. Sakura said with a smile, shocking Sasuke, Karen, and Ino. Thanks but no thanks. I don't have time for the W getting in formations and taking breaks because you and your offspring can't keep up, Naruto said before turning his back on the group. Even though they can mold chakra to their feet, the young ones just don't have the stamina to keep up with us, Karen pointed out, curving Sakura's rising anger at Naruto's insult. That goes for you too as well. I doubt you and Ino can keep up with me on my worst day, Naruto commented, looking at both Ino and Karen. Just as the two women were about to light into the blue-eyed blonde, Machina's voice rang out. Summoning jutsu! She yelled out. A large plume of smoke covered the group. When it cleared, Machina could be found atop a 10-foot-tall fox with silver fur. Need a lift? Machina asked Karen and Ino, who gladly obliged. Sasuke just smirked before doing a summoning of his own. A much larger plume of smoke covered the area and a shrill cry could be heard. Flapping its large bronze and white feathered hawk, as big as Gamabunta, appeared under Sasuke. Looking up towards the top of head, the hawk scowled a bit. Sasuke, why the hell have you summoned me? I need a ride to Oni no Kuni. The Uchiha simply replied. I am the king of hawks. Not your personal steed for when you're lazy doesn't feel like walking. The giant avian cawed angrily. Just get us there and go back home, Sasuke said, gesturing toward his family. Hey Hawkun! Sasukura yelled up to the Hawk King. What's your name? She asked. The humongous bird of prey leant down so Sakura and the children could climb aboard easier. My name is Takawaro, he said as he straightened himself once more. Awesome, Dad. You're the best. Beat that, Mr. Sage, Sasukura taunted, giving Naruto with another smug look. While the Uchiha children were enthralled with their father's performance, the Uchiha clan head was busy studying Naruto. Machina locked eyes with her father until a small smirk appeared on his features. Naruto turned to walk a few feet up the road, making sure to stay in everyone's line of sight. Oh no! Machina whined before she dropped her head into her fox Kitsana's mane. Lady Machina, is he about to? Kitsana asked. Yeah. Machina groaned out. About to what? Karen and Ino asked at the same time. All of a sudden they could feel a huge rush of power. Naruto's pupils turned to slits, but his irises stayed blue, though his eyes narrowed much of Fox's. His whiskers widened considerably. His claws and fangs lengthened. The chakra around him bubbled, then took the form of a 9-tailed fox. It went from crimson to a serene golden color that matched his now waist-length straightened blonde hair. 9 chakra tails swayed gracefully behind him, while he simply stood there. Including Kotetsu and Izumo, who were at the guard station, they all seemed to be captivated by his display, save for Machina, who was still buried in her companion's mane. He's gorgeous, Ino said breathlessly. Just wait, came Machina's muffled voice. Ray-a-ruff! With the sky-splitting roar, Naruto's chakra S into the heavens, completely separating the clouds as it expanding outwards. It didn't take long for most of the village's elite, including Kakashi, to appear behind the traveling group. The blinding light finally faded and everyone's eyes almost ran out of their sockets. A golden blue-eyed 9-tailed fox towered over the terrified village. Even the king of hawks was wide-eyed with its beak hung open. Shall we get going now? We wouldn't want to keep Lady Cheyenne waiting now, would we? Naruto boomed with a fox-like grin. A hawk! Machina frustratingly screamed, pulling at her fair-colored tresses. You're worse than a damn kid. It's just a simple field trip to the land of demons. Did you really have to transform for that? What happened to only when it's absolutely necessary? Machina cried to her father. She dared me, Kit. The giant kitsune stated simply. Machina fell off her mount and cried. Kitsana picked the youngster up in his maw and took off to their destination. Naruto's mastery of his wind element allowed him to walk on air, thus keeping his giant strides silent and collateral destruction very minimal. Everyone else, on the other hand, was still bug-eyed and jaw-dropped the 30-minute trip, including Takawaro. Thank God for shadow clones, cause this just earned me a nice stack of paperwork. Kakashi sighed before returning everyone to their own business. Land of Demons. The group was greeted by a well-dressed man who looked to be in his 50s when they reached the gate of the village that was the capital of Oni no Kuni. Ah, Lord Namikaze and company. Lady Cheyenne is waiting for you all at her home, the man stated, then led them through the village. How did you know we were coming? Sakura asked curiously. We felt Lord Namikaze's transformation, but I'm all shinobi nations felt his power. Man told with a cat-like grin. As they trekked through the village, Naruto and Machina were warmly greeted by its inhabitants. Some went as far as bowing before the two Namikazes. I'm sure they know of his lineage, but that doesn't explain the reception he's receiving, Sakura seriously thought. Wow, they really love Naruto and his daughter here. Thought a smiling Ino. Why are these people treating those two like royalty? That should be giving the Uchiha that attention. We're way more deserving than them, thought a jealous Futachi. Upon arriving in meeting hall where Cheyenne was waiting for the group, Machina s at the woman. "Mommy!" Machina yelled before tackling the priestess to the ground. "Mommy!" The Konoha guests were thrown for another loop while Machina cried into her mother's robes. "Mom, I've missed you so much. Training with Dad for an entire year was horrible." Machina complained. "Hey, you wanted to get strong, so I made you strong. Don't bitch about it now," Naruto said snidely. "Naruto-kun, she's just a child, you didn't have to push her too hard," said the smiling priestess. "Meh," Naruto said with his arms crossed. "I would like to know what you needed to tell us so we can go back already?" Sakura rudely interrupted. "Of course, Uchiha-san," Cheyenne said, finally able to stand due to Naruto prying Machina off by her collar. "Walk with me," she ordered them. "As you probably already know, I can see into the future. I've recently had a few disturbing visions. To avoid one of them, you all will need to work together whether you like it or not," Cheyenne explained during their walk through the tranquil calm. "Explain," Sasuke ordered. "Uchiha-san, Konoha will once again be terrorized by a new group of enemies. They are very strong, much stronger than even your current Hokage. By you two being the strongest families in the village, I fear you families will be targeted," Cheyenne said gravely. "But Mom, I don't like them, and I plan on making the pink-haired woman suffer," Machina said with somewhat of a pout. Sakura looked at the child with a raised brow, as did Cheyenne. Sasuke just ignored her, as did Naruto. "Michi-chan, what could she possibly have done to incur your wrath?" Cheyenne asked with a small laugh. Machina glanced back at Naruto with sad eyes. "She hurt someone I care about. I'm so sick of you, little girl. You should learn to respect your betters," Itachi shouted before darting forward with his fist reared back. "Size, try not to kill him," Cheyenne and Naruto both said out loud. Itachi's fist was stopped, and he was viciously sent flying backwards into his father. Sasuke slid back a few feet after catching his son, who had a burn in his shirt and a burn mark on his chest. "You dare try to attack my sister?" growled a young boy who looked exactly like Machina except he spiky blonde hair like his father. The mini Naruto glared at the two Uchiha with black slitted purple eyes. "They're twins," Karen and Ino both concluded. "Okay, Kanado, that's enough," Naruto told the boy, whose eyes returned to their normal blue speckled amethyst color. "Yes, father," Kanado said, relaxing his stance. "How about a hug for your dad?" Naruto said with open arms and a smile. "It's only been a year, father. Hardly even enough time for me to miss you," Kanado said blandly, making his father's eyebrow twitch. "Come here, you little devil child." Naruto growled and then commenced the father-son wrestling match. Cheyenne giggled as she watched the two tumble down the hall and straight out into the courtyard. Ino and Karen looked on with softened gazes, but Sakura's gaze was full of pain. She then grabbed Sasuke, Itachi, and Sasukura and left them calm. It wasn't long before Machina joined in, and the three of were laughing hysterically as Naruto tickled them both with the help of shadow clones. "Ino, Karen, be sure to stay close to them, they're gonna need you in the coming future, all three of them," Cheyenne said suddenly. The two women looked at Cheyenne strangely before nodding their heads, then continued to watch Naruto play with his children. Later that night, happy place, Sasukura chanted. "Oh my ing god, Sasuke! My until I drench your ing in my..." Sakura screamed out, causing each kid to pass out due to an explosive nosebleed. Hours later, Cheyenne and Naruto laid contently tangled with each other under the sheets. "Did I hear Sakura a little while ago?" Cheyenne asked, a small laugh. "Yeah, I think so. As for their kids, they didn't put up a silencing, oh shit." Naruto then came to realize he didn't put up a silencing jutsu. "Oh, those poor babies," Cheyenne said in horror. "They'll live," Naruto said, then hugged Cheyenne closer. "Did you use protection?" Naruto hesitantly asked. "Knowing I'm gonna die soon, do you think I would allow myself to get pregnant?" Cheyenne asked, annoyed. "To answer your question, yes, I used an contraception jutsu," Cheyenne told him. They laid there in a comfortable silence for almost half an hour until Cheyenne spoke up again. "I also saw you two fighting again, you and Sasuke," Cheyenne revealed. "Whatever he did deserved me kicking his ass," Naruto said stubbornly. "He was battered and looked to be knocking at death's door, and held him up by his neck. You guys were at the Valley of the End," Cheyenne told him, but she could feel he really didn't give a what happened to the Uchiha now. "How long till they come for you?" he asked her sadly. She was quiet for a moment, almost as if she hadn't heard him, even though she was staring straight at him through the mirror on the opposite wall. 2 days, she said, and felt his body become rigid. "How long?" he asked her. She already knew he was referring to how long ago she'd had the vision. Almost a month, she said quietly. I knew if I'd had told you sooner you would have tried to find them and kill them before they could get to me. I didn't tell you to keep you and our children safe, for they would have followed after you, she said as they both silently cried. Won't Kanado see them coming after you anyway? Naruto asked as he thought about his son having to watch his mother die. No, I placed a seal on his powers that'll fade once I'm gone, Cheyenne said with a sniffle. The Uchiha clan will become involved at some point, I just don't know how yet, Cheyenne told him. Good, Naruto said as he nodded off for some much-needed sleep. Cheyenne smiled, then turned so she was looking at him instead of his reflection. As dawn broke, the first rays of the sun gave Naruto an almost ethereal glow. She allowed one last tear to escape her eye before ing him on the I love you, Naruto-kun, I'll miss you and my babies, you've gave me the greatest 5 years of my entire life, she confessed before lying on his chest and joining him in dream world. I love you too, whispered the golden fox before completely giving in to exhaustion. Later that day, Naruto and company stood at the gate of the village ready to depart back to Konoha. Cheyenne held both her children in the tightest hug, she knowing this would be the last she'd see them. Naruto stood point of the group facing the direction they'd be traveling. He knew if he faced Cheyenne once more he wouldn't be able to leave her. I want you two to always protect each other, look after your father for me, and grow up to be power shinobi just like him, Cheyenne told her twin children with a smile. Mother, you speak as if we're gonna be gone forever, we'll come visit. Right, Machina? Kanado spoke calmly. Hells yeah. Besides, the old man would be lost without us, Machina said cheekily. Cheyenne laughed at her daughter's antics before taking something out of her pocket. Close your eyes, she ordered them. Moments later they were granted permission to reopen them. The Namikaze twins found they each had a clear bell on a chain hanging around their necks. Kanado's bell hung from a white gold chain, and Machina's dangled from a silver one. Those will protect you always, never take them off, Cheyenne told them lovingly. Naruto's eyes wrenched shut when he heard the jingle of the bells. He knew exactly what they were for. Cheyenne's mother Miroka had done the same for her, imbuing a bell with her own power so that she may protect her child even in death. The priestess had her children on their foreheads and sent them to their father. Cheyenne then surprised both Karen and Ino when she had captured them both in hug. With a final wave to their mother, the twins took off with their father, not knowing what was to come. As Cheyenne walked back to the calm, she felt a warm breeze caress her, and she smiled. Goodbye, Naruto Namikaze, Cheyenne thought while looking to the sky. Later that night, in a clearing miles away, two shinobi were sitting as lookouts for their large group. Destiny must have been exacting revenge on one of the lookouts for converting its #1 follower years ago. By draw of straws, Naruto was picked to be first lookout along with Sakura of all people. Why is he just sitting there staring into the fire? I think he should at least tell me why he up and left 5 years ago. He owes me at least that much. Inner Sakura raged on as Naruto stayed ever quiet, not even sparing her a glance. So judging by how old the twins are, I'm guessing Oni no Kuni is where you vanished 2 years ago, Sakura finally asked. The silence was starting to annoy the hell out of her. The blonde only continued to stare into the flaring flames. Will you at least tell me why you left? Sakura asked again, this time earning a slight flinch of his finger. Ino and Karen laid awake in the tent they'd shared with the Namikaze twins, praying Sakura wouldn't set Naruto off. They noticed something had been different about him ever since they departed from Cheyenne's village. He seemed more distant, and he barely interacted with his children. In the other tent, Sasuke laid awake, also listening to his wife trying to pry into his old friend. Naruto, come on. I was almost your wife, for God's sake. You loved me to the point you would have died for me. The least could do is explain why you abandoned me to go be with a whore who only wanted you to give her air. Sakura seethed. Out of the blue, the wind blew strongly throughout the campsite. The trees shook, the shrubs quivered, and the fire went out. Sakura found herself slammed up against the nearest tree, leaving a small indentation. She winced and tried to ignore it. She was more worried about the hand around her throat. The pink-haired Uchiha matriarch stared at Naruto with wide eyes. What scared her were his eyes. They were blue. Icy blue orbs bore into her shaky green ones. These were not his demon-influenced eyes looking at her. These were his eyes staring at her with unfathomed hatred. The rest of the group looked on quietly as they were not about to tempt Naruto's wrath. You're right. You were almost my wife, and I did love you to death. You think I owe you? I don't owe you a ing thing. That's always been your goddamn problem, it's always about you. Naruto told her emotionlessly. But since you want to know so bad, I'll tell you why I left, because if I had stayed I probably would have ended trying to commit suicide. The love of my life got rid of our child without losing a second of sleep. She sleeps with someone I considered my brother for months without a care in the world, and then gets pregnant by him. I return early from a mission to surprise my love only to find her in the arms of my brother, atop the monument of my father. I listened to her talk about her life with me as if she were playing an unwanted role in a movie. That's why I left. By the time Naruto finished describing his anguish, Sakura was wide-eyed with free-falling tears. 3 of the 4 children present were horrified. Sasuke felt a weird pain in his chest. Ino and Karen had turned away with downcast eyes, and Mishina glared viciously at Sakura. Namikaze-san, that person sounds like a horrible human being, Sakura said with a sniffle. I apologize for my actions up until now, Lord Namikaze. I was not aware you'd been through such agony to get to where you are today. You have my apologies for my actions toward your daughter, Futachi said with a bow, and was shortly joined his kid sister. Father Kanato, unlike Mishina, didn't realize the pain his father had experienced before he was born. He mentally swore to find the person responsible for his unborn sibling's death and give them a taste of his soul-wrecking power. How about that? Tell me, Sakurahime, how does it feel to know your children find you to be a lowly human being? Naruto said, jerking his hand away, then disappeared into the wind. Futachi, Sasukura, and Kanato aimed their horrified gaze towards Sakura. Each had a different reaction. The Uchiha children shook violently before taking off into the forest, and Kanato's hatred-laced glare now matched Mishina's. Sasuke quietly turned to go after his children but was stopped by someone grabbing his wrist. Sasuke pulled from Sakura's grasp and went for his children. Sakura turned around to come face to face with Mishina, whose eyes were now purple with black scara. You dared to call my mother a whore? Mishina asked before knocking the older woman out with a chop to the back of the neck. Mishina then stormed off into the woods, followed by Kanato after spitting on Sakura's fallen form. Size, you go after Naruto-kun and I'll get the twins, Karen told Ino, who nodded before the both shined away, leaving Sakura all alone with the Uchihas. Sasuke found his children sitting on the bank of the lake that was near their campsite. He could hear Sasukura's sniffles as he approached them. The Uchiha clan head quietly sat down next to them and gazed up at the waning moon. Dad, is it true what Namikaze-san said about Mom and you? Futachi asked while looking out across the lake. Yeah, his father responded with a voice of neutrality. Why? If you guys were like brothers, why would you take his heart away from him? The young child asked. Sasuke was quiet. In his mind he was trying to choose his words carefully. I didn't take her from him, she came to me of her own will. I guess you could say that her love for me never made her think clearly. When I was released from prison, I wanted nothing more than to restore our clan. I was young and she was so willing, I guess I wasn't thinking clearly either, Sasuke admitted. Do you love her? His son asked quietly. Not the way she loves me, Sasuke revealed. Daddy, what did Naruto-san mean when he said she got rid of their child? Did she give it away? Sasukura asked. Again Sasuke chose his words carefully. No, she killed it, Sasuke said, deciding not to sugarcoat it. The eyes of the youngsters widened considerably after hearing that. It's called an abortion. When a parent doesn't want to have their baby, they go to a doctor to remove the infant before it matures, Sasuke explained almost sadly. Or in her case, she aborted the baby herself, a new voice said, making Sasuke's eyes widen. Futachi turned to see Mishina standing there with tears cascading from her eyes, and her brother was leaning against a tree not far from her with a pained expression. I'm surprised she didn't tell you that part, Uchiha-san. That's the reason the pain I'm gonna inflict on her is gonna be 10 times as what my father felt. If either of you wanna stop me, then you better kill me now, Mishina declared with determination. Wait, Mishina, I know my mom caused your family a lot of pain, but you can't kill for it, Futachi protested. Kill her? She doesn't deserve that freedom. I'm just gonna turn her life into a living hell, Mishina stated as sadistic thoughts entered her brain. I agree with my sister, Kanato said as he went to stand next to his older sister. Lucky for her, Mishina hasn't told father this little piece of information. What do you think he'd do if he found out? Kanato asked honestly. No. Don't tell Naruto, he's been through enough, don't add to his pain. Even I can see he hasn't completely healed, Sasuke told them as he now stood across from the Namikaze Avengers alongside his son. Is this what I was like back then? Sasuke thought to himself. Sasukura went and stood in front of Mishina while looking downward. You promise you won't kill mommy? She asked hesitantly. Yes, I give you my word, and that's something I never break. That's Nindo my ninja way, Mishina said with a smile. Then allow me to join you on your mission, Sasukura said, catching them off guard. Mishina stared into the girl's eyes. She could see the determination, and she saw no deception. So with a smile she held out her small hand and they shook on it. Sasukura! What are you doing? This is Mom we're talking about. Futachi shouted at his sister. It was our sibling to Futachi. It could have been me or you that never gots to live. It's time Mommy grew up. Even I can tell she's still a fangirl, just look at our names. Sasukura argued back, making Futachi's brain freeze for a moment. That's why I'm throwing away the name she gave me, the young girl stated, astounding both her father and brother. Fine. If you're joining them, then so am I. Is that okay? Futachi asked as he looked to Mishina. After scanning his eyes for deception, she nodded and shook his hand as well. By the way, we would have had a big brother, Dad said with his sage mode. He could tell it was a boy. Mishina told them. By the way, if you don't want to be called Sasukura, then what are we to call you? Kanado asked the raven-haired child. I've always liked hawks, I got it. You can call me Takahime, she chirped. I kinda like it, Mishina said with a giggle. Hey, I don't want to be stuck with my name either, Futachi complained. How about Hebamaru? I've always had thing for serpents, he said before making a hissing sound as the four of them were walking away back to camp. The ignored and forgotten Sasuke Uchiha just stood there bewildered and somewhat amazed at what just occurred. His children just became part of the group that's targeting their own mother. Funny how they like snakes and hawks, isn't? Karen asked as she came out of her hiding place. HN was all she got from her old crush. It seems Naruto-kun still has that power to influence others, Karen said as she looked up at the stars. Why couldn't she outgrow me like you did? Sasuke asked out of the blue. Maybe because her crush turned into full-blown love. Whether you like or not, you're with her till death parts you, Karen mocked with a small laugh. Shut up, you're annoying me, Sasuke said calmly before walking away. Karen laughed a bit harder as she followed after him back to camp. When they arrived, the children handed them a note that read, We're going on ahead. Karen, I'm trusting you to look after the twins for us, but if you run into trouble, they both have a Harem kunai to summon me. See ya when you guys get back home. Signed, Naruto. That bitch, Karen growled under her breath. Ino now had Naruto a full week to herself. Sasuke, grab your wife so we can go. We have a lot of ground to cover, Karen roared fiercely. The now slightly smaller group took off into the night, heading for Konohagakure. Things were about to be a lot different in the village now that a new alliance had been formed. Week has passed for the Namikaze twins since returning to Konoha from Oni no Kuni. A day after leaving their home village, both of them felt a terrible pain in their chest near their heart. Writing it off as homesickness, they didn't think nothing of it, and they were more worried about their father at the moment. He hadn't changed since they arrived back to the village. He rarely said anything and his eyes were like ice, his stare was frigid, and his tone of voice was cold. With their father acting weird, the twins also had something else to worry about today's school. It was the first day of school at the Ninja Academy, and orientation was supposed to be held today. The class and their parents were to introduce themselves so everyone could get acquainted. Everyone now stood in the classroom waiting on the teacher to arrive so they could start. It's been a while, Naruto, said the voice of a bored Shikamaru Nara as he leant up against one of the desks. Temari was in front of him, leaning against his chest with his arms wrapped around her waist. Don't you think you guys are a little too intimate? We are in our children's school, you know, Naruto said from his place across from them. We never followed normal school procedure anyway now, did we? Shikamaru countered with a smirk. It's nice to see you again, Naruto, Niji said, as he and Tenten joined the group. Will you all cut the bullshit? You guys seen me when I first got back, Naruto said calmly. Yeah, well, certain circumstances didn't allow us to catch up properly, Tenten said with a slight scowl. His friends had immediately noticed the change in Naruto the day he returned from Oni no Kuni with Ino. Kakashi had stated that his eyes now reminded him of Minato's when he was in battle, cold and merciless. After hearing the reason behind Naruto's change from Ino as well as the reason behind his disappearance years ago, they sort of understood how he became what he is now. Then came the cherry on top, literally. Has either one of you seen my children? Sakura asked after joining the small group with Sasuke in tow. For the sake of peace, the others pretended they didn't know what Sakura had done. Come to think of it, where is Shikamaru? Temari asked as she looked around the room along with Niji, Tenten, and Naruto. The twins were missing as well, not Naruto cared. He knew they could take care of themselves. Shikamaru, go see if she's on the roof. Cloud watching, it's time for the teacher to arrive. Temari ordered her husband with a sigh. Once he fared away, she headed to the front of the class. Good morning, class. My name is Temari Nara, but you can just call me Temari-sensei, said the pigtail-wearing blonde. Oh hell, Niji said with his head hung, while Tenten just smiled. She had already knew Temari was their son's teacher since he pushed the hassle of school registration on her. Temari had begun with the class introductions despite the 4 missing students. They were halfway done when Shikamaru fared back into the room and signaled he couldn't find them. They better not miss this. Sakura grumbled under her breath, but Sasuke heard her and smirked inwardly. By the end of introductions, Sakura, Tenten, and Temari were pissed that their children hadn't showed. Temari swore to herself that she'd beat her brat with her battle fan when she caught her. Just as she was wrapping up the meat and greet, the lights in the room fed before going out completely. A black shroud fell over the windows to block out the sunlight, leaving the room barely visible. Sorry we're late, sensei, said a familiar voice from behind Temari, making some of the civilian parents gasp while the shinobi families were on guard. The fan-wind mistress turned around to find a masked child standing there. The mystery person had blonde hair that looked to be set back with gel. They wore an all-white blank umbu-type mask with the kanji for Kaze no Shika etched on the chin section, a black umbu-type bodysuit, a short-sleeve olive-green halter shirt that stopped at the middle of the ribcage. A headband was pinned to their left arm, but Temari couldn't make out the symbol. The bodysuit reminded Sasuke of his Chunin exams outfit except with longer sleeves and pant legs. Yeah, our appointment ran a little longer than we thought it would, another voice said from the door of the classroom. This one also wore a faceless umbu mask except had the kanji for burrito on the right cheek. They too wore a black umbu bodysuit, along with a light brown sleeveless hooded coat that reached down to their ankles and was zipped up to their neck. Finally, a headband with the same symbol as before was tied around their right arm. Come on now, guys, we can't be going and blabbing too much, a stoic voice resounded from the windowsill. Another faceless mini umbu sat on the ledge of the window with the kanji for Shorai Yajinsha on left cheek. The third masked child wore the same basic umbu attire with an onyx-colored Uno Nedgakuren. The same mysterious headband was being used as a belt this time. Look at all the kids he be meezin'. The fear in their eyes made this all worth it. Indeed, the 2 newcomers wore the same umbu suit as the others. The raven-haired child had their hair pulled into a high ponytail and a low ponytail. A dark red battle dress was worn over the umbu bodysuit with the signature headband pinned to the right shoulder. The blank mask was marked with the kanji for Taka above the right eye. The taller of the 2 wore a dark blue down vest over the bodysuit with the headband pinned to the left shoulder. Hibi was engraved above the left eye, and suddenly a smoke bomb went off, covering the room in smog. Greetings, everyone. Sorry for our late arrival. I hope we didn't cause anyone any inconvenience, said a new, much colder voice, and suddenly the lights came on, but the shroud stayed in place. As the coughs and smoke died down, everyone looked to the front on the room where the previous 5 strangely dressed children stood. Only now a 6th member stood in front of them. A long blonde braid reached the small of the person's back, and he or she was wearing a white gakuren over the bodysuit. The gakuren was wound all the way up, and the same headband was hanging around their neck, and the kanji for Tsurayuki was dead center of the ghost-like mask. The symbol on the forehead protectors could now be seen as spiral of a crescent moon. We are your classmates, also known as the group Soren, the obvious leader stated, causing murmurs to spread through the throngs of parents and child alike. Take off your masks, one of the young girls shouted out. I'm so gonna kill them when we get home. Sakura growled as all 6 of them grabbed their masks simultaneously. Naruto, please tell me this wasn't your idea. Tenten groaned after the 6 masked children pulled their masks to the side to reveal Shikamaru, Teiji, the Uchiha siblings, and the Namikaze twins with Mishina as the leader. Why would I waste my time with something as childish as this? Naruto rhetorically asked before getting up and leaving the class. You guys are so getting detention, Temari shouted as she made a grab for her daughter, only for her to vanish with a gust of wind. Teiji was replaced by a kunai that was embedded into the floor. Hibi dissolved into snakes, causing the women to screech. Taka transformed into a flock of screaming hawks, and finally a yin-yang symbol appeared beneath the Namikaze twins. Kunato dropped down into the black dot while Machina stepped into the white one. All that was left was a note that read, "Look out, Konoha! It's about to be hell on earth." Everyone could now hear a commotion outside, and all of a sudden the black curtain fell from the windows. To everyone's shock, the Hokage faces had been turned into the void masks of Soren. Why the hell couldn't they turn out like normal kids? Kakashi signed from his office window while looking at the first prank done by Soren. Lunchtime. After the Hokage monument fiasco, the village went back to normal, until the clock struck noon. 2 village-shaking screams echoed throughout the village. Then a chain reaction started and all hell broke loose. First, Guy and Lee came bursting into Kakashi's office wailing like big green babies. "Kakashi! My youthful rival, why has God cursed me so?" Guy wailed from his place on the floor alongside Lee. "What is it now, Guy?" Kakashi asked calmly. "Look!" Guy and Lee cried at the same time. Kakashi's one eye widened. He even proceeded to reveal his Sharingan to check for a genjutsu. Guy and Lee's eyebrows had been shaved clean off. "That is not all," Lee said sadly before taking off his hair, revealing a bald head. The 2 beasts of Konoha didn't have a hair on their heads. Then came Kakashi's second problem. Kaka Anko stopped mid-yell as she stared at Guy and Lee wide-eyed. "Where the s you guys' hair?" "Never mind, it's an improvement," Anko stated, making Guy and Lee wail once more. "Anyway, Kakashi, can I ask you something?" Anko asked sweetly, earning a nod from the shell-shocked copy ninja. "Why is there not one thing of Dango in this entire village?" Anko screamed at the top of her lungs. One by one more villagers, shinobi, and civilian came pouring into the poor Rokudame's office. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Shikamura had just finished stripping down to nothing but a towel. He put his things away and head out into the spring. The Nara clan had removed his towel and folded it neatly. As he was about to set it down, he happened to glance into the spring. He froze like a deer caught in the headlights. Staring back at him were a spring full of blushing women, Kurinai, and his mother among the now angry slew of females. "BB but I the SSS sign. Men not WWW, women be gentle," Shikamura squeaked before they stormed on the young man. While the beating took place, outside the springs, a whistling olive-wearing Soren member walked up to the gender sign, taking down the sign that read men to reveal the true sign that read women's bath. Kazushika walked away whistling without a care in the world. Hayashi Hyuga was training his daughter Hanabi Hyuga for her upcoming Chunin exam in a few months. The Hyuga had heard about all the trouble being caused outside their calm and chose to ignore it, an unwise decision. "Hanabi, let us take a break," a semi-sweaty Hayashi said to his youngest daughter. "Yes, father," Hanabi said, then joined her father on the porch. The brunette teenager thanked the branch member that brought them bottled waters. "Father, I think I'm ready to start learning the more advanced techniques like cousin Niji did," Hanabi spoke up before taking a long chug of her water. Hayashi was quiet as he thought about what his daughter had said. He finished the last of his water, then smiled at his youngest daughter. "Hanabi, if you can land 3 hits on me using the 8 trigrams 64 palms technique, then I'll gladly teach more advanced techniques," Hayashi told her with a grin. Hanabi stood up and grinned at her father. "Those techniques will be mine once I return," Hanabi said with a slight grimace. "Where are you going?" Hayashi asked, bewildered. "Bathroom," Hanabi yelled back as she sprinted off to the bathroom. The Hyuga clan head chuckled lightheartedly and shook his head at daughter. "I guess I'll take a bathroom break myself," Hayashi thought to himself as his stomach began churning. Upon reaching the main bathroom of the Hyuga's main house, Hayashi found a branch member working with the plumbing. Noticing the clan head, the branch member stood and bowed to Hayashi in an instant. "Ah, Lord Hayashi, sorry for the inconvenience, but this bathroom is currently out of order," he said, still in his bowing form. "That's quite all right. We do have 10 other bathrooms in this comms, I'll just use another," Hayashi said with a slight grimace as his stomach began rumble. "Lord Hayashi, are you well?" asked the branch member with a raised brow. Hayashi simply nodded and briskly made his way to another bathroom. He came across the same problem with this one as well, and with a low groan he made his way to the next bathroom, which happened to be preoccupied by Hanabi. Hayashi was at his wit's end. Every bathroom he'd gone to had some kind of plumbing issue. Even the toilet in his private quarters was no good, but he'd yet to try every toilet, for there was one left. Hinata sat in her room thinking about what had happened 7 years ago. It still tore at her heart, and seeing Naruto back in the village made the pain worse. What made things worse was the fact that she had to be around the ones who crushed her dreams so often during the day. The dark-haired woman was brought out of her musings when a knock was heard at her bedroom door. "Yes?" she answered after closing her journal. "Hinata, are you decent?" came her father's strained voice. "Yes, father," Hinata called out, allowing her father to enter the room. She could instantly see something was wrong, but she decided to wait and see what her esteemed father could want with her today. "How are you today, my dear?" Hayashi asked as he shifted his stance. Unlucky for Hayashi, his daughter went into a long monologue about her day starting from the time she awoke this morning. Just when he thought she was finished, and then, or next came out of her mouth. Each sentence she spoke, his stomach swirled in a different direction. "I can't take this," Hayashi mentally thought as Hinata began talking once more. "That's great, sweetie. Is your bathroom working?" Hayashi asked, cutting his daughter off about what she had for lunch. Yes, but all Hayashi heard was yes, and he s into his daughter's private bathroom. The porcelain victim never stood a chance once Hayashi bowels erupted into shiny white bowl. "Father fart, are you fart okay?" Hinata asked, while her father nosily destroyed her private sanctuary. "Yeah, I'm just poot fine," Hayashi called back, after dropping the last of his load. Father, would you like for me to get you more toilet paper?" Hinata asked, pinching her nose closed. Hayashi's eyes widened as he looked to his left to see an empty toilet paper roll. "God damn it!" came Hayashi's irritated voice. A few blocks away, a chuckling burrito threw away a bottle as he passed the trash can. The discarded bottle read, "Ultra Lax, fast acting for instant relief." Moments later, he burst out laughing in the middle of the street. He soon vanished, though, after his snickers died down. It was now almost dusk and there was a commotion. In the center of the village marketplace there was a huge crowd gathered. Upon closer inspection you could that they were gathered around something, or more like someone. The sleeping person suddenly snapped their eyes open to see various people studying him. Ibiki Marino stood up and glared back at the crowd with as much killer intent as possible. "What the are you shitheads looking at?" he yelled, then walked off. As he was traveling he passed a glass window. He then came to a halt mid-step, then backstepped until he could see himself in the glass. On the outside his demeanor was as stoic as ever, but on the he was livid. Whoever did this to him would die slowly. Back at the Hokage Tower, Kakashi was still dealing with Enko, Guy, Lee, and now a badly swollen Shikamaru. Kakashi's normally high patience was running very low very quickly. Everyone stopped talking when the office door opened and Ibiki walked in. The reaction throughout the room was same: eyes wide, jaws dropped. The famed Ibiki Marino stood in front of them in a leather bustier and thong set, leather thigh-length heel boots, complete with makeup. "I want those little heirs brought to me by tomorrow morning," Ibiki deadpanned. He then looked to his right and caught sight of Mato Guy. "That happened to you?" "You know what, I don't even care," he said before he turned to leave. It was Enko who noticed the last little detail of his new look first, and she burst out laughing. On Ibiki's left cheek in white lettering was the word "I'm," and on his right it read "ANKO's bitch." "Oh, I'm so gonna milk this for all it's worth," Enko cackled before skipping off after Ibiki. Kakashi sighed, then reached his drawer for his favorite book, except it wasn't there. Kakashi frowned and searched his drawer thoroughly before shrugging. He then went to get his backup only to find that missing, along with the backup for his backup. "I'll be right back," said the nervous Hokage before faring away. Minutes later Kakashi returned, hyperventilating and sweating. "My precious," whimpered the man who copied over 1,000 jutsu. Shikamaru and the two bald beasts looked out the window to see a giant fire in front of the tower. Only the bonfire was made from every copy of Ika in the entire village. "This means war," Kakashi growled, then pulled out his viewing globe, but that quickly went downhill when Kurinai and Yoshino burst into office, followed by many of the village's female population. Shikamaru quickly dove behind Kakashi's desk along with Guy and Lee. "Lord Hokage, I'm to understand that you and your secret pervert group have been using the viewing globe to spy on the women's bath," Yoshino growled, making Shikamaru whimper quietly. "Now wait 1 second, we have done no such thing," Kakashi argued back. "We?" the three helpless bystanders questioned with wide eyes. "Besides, as skillful as we are as shinobi, we wouldn't need the viewing globe," Kakashi argued, unknowingly sealing his and his subordinates' fates. "Is that right?" Kurinai growled, then cracked her knuckles. "Oh, they're good," Kakashi said as realization hit him, then came the fists. "No! Not again, mommy!" Poor Shikamaru screamed out helplessly. "Aye!" Guy and Lee screamed as the women stalked toward the hugging duo. Their screams of pain were heard throughout the village as the sun set on Konohagakure. Priceless, Machina said with a grin from their place atop the now Soren monument. Boy, has this been a fun day. Kanato said with a sadistic smile. Oh, you guys should have seen Hayashi running through the manor trying to find a bathroom. Teiji said with laugh along with everyone else. I can't believe Ibiki-chan fell for the cute little girls selling cookies act. Takahime giggled. I think the best part is this right here. Hebimara said as he watched Kakashi, Guy, Lee, and Shika get beat down the office. The rest of the group brought their binoculars up to their eyes to watch as well. Oh! Kurinai-san is stomping the hell out of Lee's balls. Shikamaru cheered with a grin. So Machina, what's on the agenda for tomorrow? Kanato asked. He winced when Yoshino took the viewing globe to Kakashi's head. I was thinking we'd go to school. Machina said with a cheeky grin. Sounds like fun on a bun. Takahime chirped. Well, I'm tired as hell, so I'll see you guys at school tomorrow. Shikamaru said with a yawn. Remember to beware of your parents. Kanato advised before he yawned. After a day of mischief, the group known as Soren parted ways to their own homes. Tomorrow would hold even more fun for the chaos-causing group of children. The next morning, oh my god, there he is! A girl squealed. He is so... I would love to run my fingers through his adorable pink locks, said another female student. The object of their current desires was none other than Hebimaru Uchiha and Kanato Namikaze. The two of them had just arrived at the academy with the rest of the Soren members. Today they were wearing their normal attire as opposed to their Soren outfits, while Kanato ignored his admirers and kept walking with his sister. Hebimaru, on the other hand, relished in the attention the girls gave him, unlike his father in his younger days. Takahime growled before walking over to Hebimaru and latched on to his ear. Oh! Taka, let me go. I want to talk with the beautiful ladies. Hebimaru cried as his younger sister yanked him all the way to class. Sighs so troublesome. Shikamaru said, shaking her head at her friend's antics. It wouldn't be fun if they were any different. Teiji said with a slight chuckle. The last two members of Soren walked into school ready for whatever the day was about to throw at them. Council room. They're too troublesome to deal with, sighed Shikaka Nara. For ones so young, they're much smarter than we give them credit for. I mean, using a high-level genjutsu to change the look of the Hokage rocks. To think that even Kurinai-san can't dispel, that really says something about their skill. Inoichi voiced. It was discovered that the jutsu has a time limit set on it, and Kurinai-san stated that it should expire within the week. So as impressive as they may be, Soren still must be punished. Chiza said with finality. If I'd known they'd be this much trouble, I wouldn't have helped them. Sasuke said with his arms crossed. You did what? Some Inuzuka growled at the Uchiha. Piped down Some-san. I just provided them with the masks and bodysuits. Sasuke clarified. The current council meeting was to determine what to do about the child group Soren. Other council members were more worried about something more troubling than a few pranks. Lord Namikaze, is it true that your daughter Machina possesses Bija powers? Asked Elder Council Member Koharu. Naruto, who had been quiet the entire meeting, finally opened his eyes. Yes, and so does her brother. You got a problem with that? Naruto asked icily. It was Elder Hamura who spoke up this time, much to Naruto's annoyance. How's that possible? The Kyuubi should still be sealed of you, and the other villages still posses their new Jinchurikis. Came Hamura's gruff voice. They were born with the power. Now can we get back to topic of this damn meeting? Naruto suggested, trying to avoid revealing too much about his twins. What do you mean they were born with it? Questioned a member of the civilian council. This caused a chain reaction of questions that made Naruto glare at the pudgy man who opened his mouth. If Lord Namikaze is able to sire children with such abilities, why not invoke the Clan Restoration Act? Asked yet another member of the civilian council. Like hell you're using me as breeding stock. Naruto roared. With the blonde's outburst, the room became quieter. The Shinobi Council shook their heads at the stupidity of the civilian side of the council. It would be best not to anger Namikaze-san, Shibi monotonously warned. Sadly, his warning fell on deaf ears as another member of the civilian section spoke up. With children who can wield powers of a Jinchuriki without having to house an actual Bijuu, our village would stand at the pinnacle of the shinobi world. I say we vote on it. The elegantly dressed woman suggested. A fine idea, Koharu said with a wry smile. All 10 members of the civilian side voted for proceeding with the CRA. Much to Naruto DSI, the Namikaze clan votes against your little idea. Naruto growled out. The Uchiha clan votes against it as well, Sasuke said with a nod to Naruto, who nodded back. Hyuga also votes against the CRA, Hayashi stoically said. Yamanaka, Akimichi, and Nara are too against the CRA, Inoichi said after consulting with his old friends. Aburame will also vote against it, said Shino's father. Inuzuka damn sure isn't in favor of it. Some growled. The Sarutobi clan would never vote against boss. Konohamaru shouted. The Haruno clan will stand against the CRA as well, Seikyo said tiredly. It seems we have a tie and it's up to me to make the breaking decision, Kakashi said while reading a new book that he picked up. His new book was titled Aika Aika Tales of the Gallant Sage. Lord Hokage, surely you see the benefit in the CRA, Hamura said, trying to sway Kakashi to their side. Yeah, I do, but I won't be subjecting my favorite student to such things against his will. I'm voting against the CRA, Kakashi said with a nice smile. After all these years you old tards still only care about power, even when the shinobi world is at peace. Naruto growled out with crimson eyes. But Lord Namikaze, as a shinobi you must have come to learn to expect the unexpected, Kohara pleaded. Well, how's this for unexpected? The Kyuubi no Kitsune is no more, Naruto revealed, causing the entire room to look at him in shock. Thanks for watching this video. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support and follow the Firestyle Taro for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story, link in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.